Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, Subriel Matias defeats Jeremias Ponce via a corner retirement at the end of the 5th round. I have to say this was a very good fight while it lasted. Though I have to say, I am disappointed that Ponce's corner threw in the towel when they did. But regardless, this fight, in regards to what transpired, was pretty much what I expected in regards to the type of fight that it was. Ponce came out in round 1 like in 5th gear, you know, million miles an hour, throwing a lot of punches, straight away trying to engage Matias in a phone booth type of fight. And yeah, round 1, Jeremias Ponce completely worked Subriel Matias. Matias had his hands nice and high, nice tight guard. He was kind of trying to soak up what Ponce had. It's almost like Matias wanted a seeing out round, whereas Ponce didn't. So yeah, Matias was covering up, trying to rock and roll with shots, you know, just to see what Ponce had, whereas Ponce was going for it straight away. And he outworked Matias in round 1, hooking around the guard of Subriel Matias. He was looking for those hooks to the body as well, punches in bunches. He landed a series of good uppercuts. I think it was the first round in which he did that. And yeah, he picked some eye-catching shots in the first round, but Matias was never hurt by anything that Ponce did. Not that I could see anyway. What I liked about Matias was that he was staying calm, despite the volume of punches being thrown at him. He was covering up well, he was trying to take sting off shots, that sort of thing. He was very calm. In fact, one thing I liked that he was doing in round 1, despite getting completely outworked, he was actually throwing in between the combinations short little hooks, short little uppercuts to the body, shots that can drain your opponent. He was still picking some decent shots in round 1, Matias, but he just got outworked. After round 1, the fight basically turns into a phone booth type of fight. Matias more eager to engage with Ponce. Maybe at this point in time he felt that Ponce didn't really have the power to trouble him. And it's weird because I mentioned this in my prediction video. Ponce in this fight was loading up, wide looping shots, really loading up. Whereas Matias, he wasn't, but his shots still looked more effective. His shots looked like they were causing more damage. Matias doesn't load up that much. Occasionally he does when he tries to counter you with his left hook, but primarily, you know, Matias throws arm punches, but despite that, his shots still looked more damaging in the exchanges, in my opinion. Despite Matias being eager to engage with Ponce, Ponce still tried to be the ring aggressor. In fact, there were several times in this fight where he had Matias against the ropes, where he would be working away, but Matias very calm on the ropes. He was still picking good shots of his own in those moments, and it was a very good fight. It was a very hard fought fight, but when you looked at it, when I was looking at it live, I just always felt Matias was in control. Despite Ponce having success, despite Ponce landing good shots, I always felt Matias was in control. Matias never looked flustered. He kind of looked like, he looked very calm, whereas you could really see that Ponce was exerting himself. Does that make sense? Like, Ponce knew that he was in a hard fight, whereas Matias, it didn't really appear so, you know? And Matias actually hurt Ponce towards the end of round 2. I think it was with a left hook, I'm not entirely sure, a short left hook. Rounds 3 and 4 were competitive, both guys doing really good work, both guys going to the body, moments where both guys had their, you know, heads in each other's chests, just banging away. This was one of those fights to where, yeah, sometimes shots did stray low, sometimes shoulders were being used, sometimes heads were being used. The heads not so much, but shoulders, forearms, sometimes shots were straying low. Neither guy complained, both guys were doing it. You know, it's just the sort of fight it was. Ponce was hitting more on the hips of Matias, whereas Matias's uppercuts would stray low. But yeah, really, really rough stuff on the inside. But again, I have to stress, to me, watching live, it just looked like Matias was taking something out of Ponce, whereas I never really felt Ponce was taking anything serious out of Matias. And that really sums up Matias to a T, you know? He gets engaged in really good fights, but he just drowns his opponents, even when they're having success. And round 5 was where the fight ended. Well, Ponce was actually having quite a good round in round 5 to start. He was throwing some good combinations on Matias. I would say he was maintaining the better work rate, throwing more punches, probably landed more punches throughout most of round 5. And towards the end of round 5 though, Ponce got hurt. Ponce was, holding his feet, trying to throw his shots, trying to exchange with Matias. Matias caught him with like a short check left hook, a short counter left hook. It didn't look all that hard, but it rocked Ponce. And at that point, Matias smelt blood. He landed a couple of good body shots. I think another left hook to the top of the head. Ponce then goes down. Looks hurt, but not seriously hurt. Looks flustered, but he beats the count. And he sees out the round. Now, at the end of round 5, Ponce's corner then stops the fight. I think this fight was going one way, but again, world title fight, huge opportunity. I personally felt they should have let Ponce go out for a couple more rounds. I felt he still had some gas in the tank, even if he was losing and even if he just got dropped. I personally felt they pulled Ponce out far too early. Maybe they saw something I didn't, but yeah, I mean, the stoppage was what it was. I'm kind of disappointed in that, but the fight itself was good as long as it lasted. And Puerto Rico have a new world champion. Subriel Matias is the new IBF super flyweight champion. Of course, that title was vacated by Josh Taylor. And when you look at Subriel Matias going forwards, I mean, damn, there are some very good fights out there for Subriel Matias. I mean, Matias has a style in which he's always going to be in exciting fights unless he's fighting a pure runner, And when I look at super lightweight right now, there are so many good fights for Matias. Regis Prograis versus Subriel Matias is a great fight. The Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez winner is a great fight. Matias versus Jose Ramirez, great fight. Matias versus Arnold Barboza, great fight. There are some great fights out there for Subriel Matias, and great fights stylistically as well that will entertain us fans. Matias is one of my favourite fighters in boxing right now. I've said this previously. I've been talking about this guy for quite some time. I like his demeanour in the ring. I like the aggression. I like the punch output. Guess what? I just like my fighters to actually fight, and that's what Matias brings to the table. Doesn't seem to be willing to duck anybody, which I like. Seems to be willing to fight good competition. I mean, if you look at Matias's resume, it's not like the guy's been matched softly in his career. He's fought a lot of fellow up-and-comers. Guys like Ponce, guys like Dadashev, God rest his soul. Junkunbayev, Malik Hawkins. He's fought these unbeaten up-and-comers. And yeah, they weren't household names, but they brought some... some of these guys were touted. So, yeah, I like the way Matias's career has moved, to be honest. And I even like silly little things about a guy like Matias, similar to why I like Beterbiev. You see, after the fight, he's just won a world title. Very stoic, very nonchalant, not screaming and hollering. There's something about that I like, personally. But yeah, that stoic nature, killer mentality, I like Matias, and we'll see where he goes next. To me, Subriel Matias is one of the most exciting fighters in boxing right now. And yeah, I am fascinated to see where his career goes from here. regardless of where it goes, it will be exciting. And ultimately, to me, that is the main thing, as of right now. But yeah, share your thoughts below. Beanie Guy Delboy, peace.